Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or priority traffic. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please go ahead now. Also, please. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 0100 or 0200 Zulu, well, tonight, but 0100 Zulu next week because we have daylight saving time kicking in. To discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. It counts as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. I'll take them over the air in just a few minutes. If you have NetLogger, I will get you on the list right away. I'll see you pop up in the AIM window. And just copy and paste your call sign in there, especially you regulars, so I do appreciate that. And we're also on YouTube tonight, so thanks for anyone over there on YouTube. And for those of you who are on YouTube, I can't even spell evening right. Those of you who are listening on YouTube, if you do have a call sign, include that in the chat window so I can log you in properly. If you don't have a call sign over on YouTube, that's just fine. A first name and a location as well, then I can get you checked in to the net and acknowledge you as well. So. And if you don't want to do any of that, you can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and just let me know you're out there listening to the net tonight. And same goes, if you've got a call sign, include that in your email. If not, a name and a location would be fine. All right, I'd like to acknowledge several check-ins already. KE0VH, Jack, thanks for checking in tonight. Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. Ken, NB7SS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Dave, AF0AS, thanks for checking in tonight. Don't see anybody checking in over on YouTube right now, and no emails yet. So go ahead and open up the net for anyone wishing to check in to tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net. Anyone wishing to check in to tonight's net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
This is W0GL, Allen in St. Peter, Missouri. I would like clarification on Foxtrot 0, Victor X-Ray Oscar, Kilo Foxtrot 0, Victor X-Ray Oscar, Mark in Crook. Kilo Mike 7, Delta Zulu Hotel. Kilo Mike 7, Delta Zulu Hotel. This is Ben and Bandit Inside.
All right, let's pause there. I got a couple of new call signs checking in tonight, so thanks for that. I'm going to touch base with you in just a sec. I always like to touch base with my first-time check-in, so if you are a first-time check-in to the Colorado Astronomy Net, please stand by. There was a very scratchy call sign, let's see. Robert, W7CTY, I got you on the list, so thanks for checking in tonight. Got you in and out. No worries. But there was a call when I called for check-ins. Was Kilo something 0 something Romeo. So if you were first to check in earlier, you were very scratchy signal, and I got only a couple of letters in there. If you could come back again with your call sign phonetically twice, I'll get you checked in properly. Go ahead, that initial call sign, go ahead. Okay, I'm going to mark that. Actually, didn't get a complete call sign on that one. I'll call for check-ins a little bit later on. If I do not repeat your call sign now, I don't have you checked in. So, Alan, W0GL, thanks for checking in tonight. Don't know what the colorful metaphors you were using. I had just turned on the rig, and I heard you finishing up with Mike up there in Alaska. You might have to discuss that with him. Not exactly sure. But no worries there. All right, Graham, we got you on the list. MM1DEA over on YouTube, so thanks for checking in tonight. Randy, KF0VTH. That's a new call on the system tonight, so thanks for that, Randy. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to get back with you as soon as I acknowledge Mark, KF0VXO, thanks for checking in tonight. Chad, KF0UUC, thanks for checking in tonight. Randall, AE7RJ, thanks for checking in tonight. Ben, KM7DZH, thanks for checking in tonight. That's a new call as well. So, Ben, just a sec, I'm going to get back with you too. Mike up in Alaska, KL7FR, thanks for checking in tonight. For those of you who are new to the net, my name is Bernus. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt, India, 0, Alpha, Romeo. Been doing the net for 30 years. I wonder if I'll be around in another 30 years to continue with the net, but we'll try. So welcome to the net. We have all levels of experience, from those that are just starting out wondering what those points of light are up in the skies, to those that have been doing it for decades or longer, either professionally or amateur wise. Lots of different interests, things like that. So that is my question to you guys, is your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're starting out or you've been doing something else or been doing it for quite some time. So we're going to go to Randy, KF0VTH. Tell us a little bit about your background interest in astronomy. Go ahead.
Hey, Berta, KI0AI. Yeah, this is Randy, KF0VTH. And yep, I've been doing astronomy here in the Denver metro area, or interested in astronomy, since basically 2020, so about 26 years ago. One of my wife's girlfriends lent me a 3.5-inch Maxutov Cassegrain. You're familiar with the meads, right? The ETXs. This was not a mead. It was a precursor of the mead. I want to say it was a Bausch and Lomb, and it didn't have a tripod. It just had the screw-in legs that go into the base of the telescope, and I set it up in the front yard. I was literally laying in the grass, and I stumbled magically upon Saturn notes, and I was floored that I could see the rings in this little telescope from my front yard in Broomfield, Colorado. So, yeah, that kind of began it all. I had a father who was definitely interested in space, being stuff. He was a big sci-fi reader, took us out to see Skylab going across the sky in the 70s. I'm kind of dating myself here. But I've really kind of continued with the hobby here. I've been to a number of telescopes. My main telescope these days is a 20-inch Smithsonian that I take up to South Park to a friend's house. And we usually go up on the new moon, around the new moon, and do a lot of astronomy up there. But I've got a C11. I think I had the first Nexstar GPS sail here in Colorado. Happy down at Memphis, Optica, in South Denver. I still have that telescope. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that. But great. So yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I get with doing digital imaging for a while, and kind of got a little frustrated where I was burning my new moon time, kind of debugging either camera or computer connections, and not actually doing astronomy. So I kind of dropped the digital stuff, and I've been doing visual astronomy probably for the last 10 to 15 years. Let me check in W2ROM.
All right, I'll call for check-ins a little bit later on, but we'll get you on the list. W2RO, was it? I take them phonetically, so I'll get them right. Was that Whiskey 2, Romeo, Oscar, November, or Romeo, Oscar, Mike? Go ahead.
You have it correct. Whiskey 2, Romeo, Oscar, November. Whiskey 2, Romeo, Oscar, November. Sorry for the interruptions, but we just got here and we missed the list. So please put us on the list and we will stand by. Thank you very much. This is Ron in Milton, Vermont. W2RON. Over.
All right, Ron. Welcome to the net as well. Yeah, I take check-ins throughout the evening. This is a rather long net, but I definitely want to catch those of you who are on the East Coast early because we'll run till about 11 o'clock your time, possibly. Sometimes longer. It all depends on what kind of discussions we get into. Ron, we got you on the list. W2RON, thanks for checking in tonight. I'm going to get back with you in just a sec. I'm going to clear with Randy, and then I'm going to go down to Ben, who's also a new check-in to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Like I said earlier, but doing this for over 30 years now. We celebrated a 30th anniversary at the beginning of February. The way the net works is I'm obviously taking some check-ins, talking to the new check-ins, and seeing who pops up either on on YouTube or in NetLogger and getting them signed in. Obviously taking them over the air, but got some announcements, got some local astronomical news, as well as some bulletins for this evening, and a rocket report, all the rocket launches that are going around around the world, and then then I go down the list and talk with everybody, question, answer, and observation reports, stuff like what people are doing in their backyards or out at their observing sites, things like that. So hopefully you can stick around, Ron, and hopefully everybody can stick around. Long lists are always fun to go down, so I do appreciate that. Where was I? Randy, excuse me. Thanks for that info. Sounds like you got lots of experience there, lots of telescopes. I only got my one 8-inch Celestron that I got in, 1980. It still works fine for me. I'd like to get some big stuff. It's just don't have any place to put it right now. But there you go. Welcome to the net. Ben, KM7DZH, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Tell us a little bit about your background and interest in astronomy. Go ahead, please. All right, Ben, we heard something, but no signal there. Try again. KM7DZH. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go ahead.
KM7DZH in Sandy, Utah. I apologize. I did not know this was strictly for astronomy. I heard the net and I jumped in. So my apologies.
No worries, Ben. No worries. We got you checked in. Who knows? It is, that's what we talk about. That's for the most part. If you're interested in rocket launches around the world, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I've been doing the Colorado Astronomy Net, like I said, for 30 years here, primarily astronomy. You're very welcome to stick around. Like I do say at the beginning, all check-ins are appreciated. They also count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL, Jet Propulsion Laboratory, at the end of each month. It actually counts as part of their outreach to the general public, of which we are a part. So they take these numbers from various solar system ambassadors, which I am one of those for Colorado. And this is what I do for that organization. Share my knowledge and interest and love of astronomy with you guys. And I pass along these numbers to JPL, and they get money, they get funding from NASA and wherever else. for that, depending on. I don't know if you guys are worth a penny or not. Who knows? In this day and age, probably so, since a penny is not worth a penny anymore. You guys are worth a lot more than that, but for sure, because you're checking into the net for sure there. So Ben, no worries. Hopefully you can stick around, and hopefully we generate some questions as well. So it's always a fun net. So thanks for checking in tonight, and again, welcome. And Ron up in Vermont, W2RON, welcome to the net. Same question to you, Ron. What's your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're just starting out or you're been doing it for decades, or you just flipped on the net and decided to join? That's fine too. Go ahead, Ron. W2RON, what do you got excuse me. Tell us a little bit about your background. Go ahead.
W2RON, Ron in Northwest Vermont. Well, we haven't been doing any astronomy for about 30 years, but we started out back in the 70s. We built a 10-inch Dobsonian. We're a member of a club at Pace College on Long Island. We were very interested in it. Went out late at night with friends, and then work got in the way, and various other things, and we drifted away from it. But we have a tremendous love for it, and I wish we could start it again, although we're kind of long in the tooth now, about 88 as of the other day, and we have a little trouble getting around. But the skies are pretty nice here in Vermont, and I would love to be able to go out to do a limited amount of it again one day. We seem to have lost all our books and startups and everything. I don't know where they disappeared to, but we have a great love for it. And when we heard, our ears perked up when we heard you say Astronomy Net. So here we are, and we'll listen and maybe learn. We don't have the experience that some have, and maybe a little bit more than others, but it's been a long time, so we'll be learning. So I thank you very much for allowing me to come in and taking my call, and we'll turn it back to you and be listening and enjoying what we're hearing. Thank you so much. This is Ron, W2RON in Milton, Vermont. Back to net. Thank you.
All right, Ron. Thanks for finding us tonight, and again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Yeah, you'd be surprised who we get checking into the net. We even had some. I think you're retired at 88, so congrats on that. I've been retired for a couple of years now myself, so I'm hoping to see 88 in about 20 years and continuing on and get another at least 20 or 30 years here doing the net. So I want to celebrate that 50th anniversary here. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, Ron. But again, welcome. Hopefully you can stick around. All right, let's see. I forgot to acknowledge Roy, KI7PKL. Thanks for checking in tonight. John, KJ7AGQ over on YouTube. Thanks for checking in tonight. I think you've checked in before. Let's see. Yep, you have. And Ed, we got Ed on the list. He's checked in via, excuse me, over on NetLogger. All right, enough check-ins for right now. I will pick up check-ins in a bit. I need to get the net started, and I'll pick them up. I'll pick up check-ins either through YouTube or NetLogger for now. And then I'll come back over the air once I get through the local astronomical news. Right now, I'll get into the announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. I've been having some issues with sending out the newsletter because it shows up as spam. I'm trying to figure out why that's doing that. I even send it to myself and it shows up as spam. So my own email filter is marking my own newsletter as spam. So go figure. I may be changing the mail server in the future. We'll have to see if that's part of the problem or what. So we'll have to see about that. But those of you who do subscribe, I do appreciate it. Hopefully you got it. All right, I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out at Strasburg, Colorado on Friday evenings from 6 until 8 p.m. Always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. All right, yes, Randy, I will do that. Let's see. And Randy, thanks for that. And do you have a call sign there, Randy Allen, over on YouTube?
This is W0GL, Allen, St. Peters, Missouri. Somebody said that Mike and I said some kind of colorful metaphor. We did not. And I would like whoever said that to clarify. W0GL.
All right, Alan, that'll have to wait until after the net. I don't know. I didn't say it, and I'm not going to do that over or during the net, so you'll have to figure out. Apologies for that, but you'll have to figure that out on your own. Yeah, I don't worry about that. This is the Colorado Astronomy Net, and that's what we're talking about as opposed to rules and regs of amateur radio, so to apologize for that. And please don't be offended. That's just, I'm not going to get into any kind of stuff with that. Okay, Randy, thanks for that. Okay, gotcha. All right. And right now, I'm not going to take any more interruptions like that, Alan. So just let it slide, and we'll press on. All right. On Wednesday evenings, or Mondays and Wednesdays, you may want to check out Jack KE0VH's flight simulations on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Jack has if you're interested in flight simming, check out his flights on YouTube there. Always a fun time to be had there. And fly along. He's got some amateur radio operators, lots of flight simmers as well. It's kind of fun to just sit back and watch him fly the big aircraft from point A to point B. And some of the smaller ones over the areas. It's interesting how these simulations are very, very accurate as to the areas that he's flying over. So you may want to check out some of his previous flights on Captain Jack Flight Sim, CAPNJACKFLTSIM. All right, Jerry, we got you on the list. W0JJG, thanks for checking in tonight. All right, over on YouTube. I'm only taking check-ins via YouTube or NetLogger at this time. Right now I'm going to go ahead and get into the local astronomical news for March. So brand new month. One thing that showed up last night, I'd love to hear some of your observation reports from last night's total lunar eclipse. I didn't get out, but I definitely looked through my bedroom window around 3:30 a.m. and then again a little bit later, just before totality and just after totality. I missed totality, unfortunately. My eyelids were solidly closed at that time. For those of you who stayed up and watched the eclipse last night, I'd certainly like to hear some observation reports on that. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We had a full moon occurred at actually 6:38 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. That was the totality of the moon this morning. So that was like 4:38 a.m. Here in Eastern Standard Time. 4:38 a.m. Here in Mountain Time. The eclipse actually covered most of the U.S. Across the Pacific and then into Australia or Asia. I've got a last quarter moon coming up on the 11th, new moon on the 18th, and a first quarter moon on the 25th. The moon will be at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month. On the 10th, it will be 251,273 miles from Earth. The moon will be at perigee on the 22nd, its closest approach to the Earth this month. It will be 227,954 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for March. A total lunar eclipse is the highlight of the month for planetary action. Jupiter is well placed most of the night, and there are many events involving its Galilean moons. Soon after sunset, brilliant Venus appears low in the western sky. Within reach of binoculars, Uranus wanders close to stars that are easy to find south of the Seven Sisters, or the Pleiades. It's a great time to spot this distant globe. Excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, March 2026, page 28. On with the planets. Mercury will be at inferior conjunction on the 7th. That means it will be between us and the Sun on the 7th. Mercury will be stationary on the 19th, meaning that it does not appear to move forward nor backward relative to the background skies. Mercury sets at 6:46 p.m. on the 1st. After conjunction, Mars returns to the morning sky, rising about 5:46 a.m. by month's end. And note right now that the first of the month times are Mountain Standard Time, while the end of the month times are Mountain Daylight Time. Okay, Mercury is visible about 30 minutes or so before sunrise. Actually, it's probably very, very low to the west during the first few days of March. So you might be able to see Mercury the next couple of days, but I doubt it. It'll be way too close and lost in the evening twilight glow. By the last week of March, Mercury should be visible in the eastern sky about 30 minutes before sunrise. So you can start looking for Mercury about mid-March, maybe a little after the third week for sure. Mercury moves from the constellation of Pisces into Aquarius, shining at magnitude 0.4 on the 30th. Quick tutorial on magnitudes. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the values of the magnitude increase, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see is about 6th magnitude. Any magnitudes greater than that, you will need binoculars or a telescope for sure to see those. So a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter. Magnitude scale is set up so that every 5 magnitudes is 100 times difference in brightness, depending on which way you're going, down or up. The best you can do probably here in the Denver area is about 4th magnitude with the naked eye. So anything that's close to 0 or negative, you'll definitely be able to see. But any of these objects, definitely put a telescope or binoculars to see some more detail for sure. We got Venus setting about 6:54 p.m. on the 1st and about 9:06 p.m. by month's end. Look for Venus low to the west about 30 minutes after sunset. Venus passes within 1 degree of Saturn on the 7th, so look for that little conjunction. Venus moves from the constellation of Aquarius into Aries, shining at magnitude -3.9. And for the Earth, we have daylight saving time begins for most of the U.S. at 2 a.m. local time on the 8th. And we got the vernal equinox occurring at 10:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 20th. And Mars will be at perihelion, its closest approach to the Sun on the 26th. It will be 128 million miles from the Sun. Mars rises about 6:09 a.m. on the 1st and about 6:07 a.m. by month's end. Look for Mars low to the east in the morning, about 30 minutes before sunrise. Mars is in the constellation of Aquarius, shining at magnitude 1.2. And next we got Jupiter. Jupiter is setting about 3:54 a.m. on the 1st, about 2:55 a.m. by month's end. Jupiter will be stationary on the 10th. By the time the sun sets, Jupiter is high in the eastern sky and dominates the rest of the night until it sets in the early morning hours before dawn. Jupiter is in the constellation of Gemini, shining at magnitude -2.3. Actually, if you look towards the east and then look very high up, about 45 degrees, maybe a little higher, you'll definitely see Jupiter soon after sunset. And then follow it. There's the ecliptic is fairly high right now, so take a look for that. We got Saturn. Saturn will be in conjunction with the Sun on the 25th. Saturn now sets about 7:29 p.m. on the 1st. After conjunction, Saturn returns to the morning sky, rising about 6:41 a.m. by month's end. Look for Saturn towards the west in the evening sky soon after sunset during the first 2 weeks of March. You won't be able to see it when it gets closer to conjunction, about a week before or a week after, maybe a little bit more than that. It'll definitely be lost in the evening twilight glow and the morning twilight glow. We'll be returning to the morning sky after conjunction, but we won't be able to see it until the mornings of April. Saturn is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 1.0. We got Uranus setting about 12:17 a.m. on the 1st, about 11:16 p.m. by months. And look for Uranus to the southwest in the evening. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.8. And Neptune will be in conjunction with the Sun on the 22nd, just 3 days before Saturn. So Neptune and Saturn are very, very close together. They've been that way for the last several months. Saturn is actually kind of in a retrograde orbit, so moving away from Neptune. It'll catch up with it sooner or later, but we'll keep an eye on that dance of Saturn and Neptune as the year progresses. Neptune sets at 7:27 p.m. on the 1st, and after conjunction, Neptune returns to the morning sky, rising about 6:29 a.m. by month's end. Look for Neptune in the evening near Saturn. During the first 2 weeks of March, Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.8. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, dwarf planets. We got Ceres setting about 9:18 p.m. on the 1st and about 10:16 p.m. by month's end. Ceres can be spotted low to the west following Saturn and Neptune. Ceres moves from the constellation of Pisces into Cetus, shining at magnitude 9.1. Now that we've reached the full moon stage, you'll have to catch Ceres before the moon rises and for some dark skies. It's going to be fairly low, so a nice flat southwestern horizon to spot that one. And we got Pluto rising about 5:11 a.m. on the 1st, about 4:12 a.m. by month's end. Pluto can be spotted low to the east before sunrise. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.3. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. And by large scopes, I mean for Ceres and Pluto, probably at least a 12-inch diameter mirrored scope or larger. Neptune you can easily spot. Ceres you might be able to spot even with an 8-inch, but Pluto you're going to need lots of patience and lots of dark sky, and for sure. Neptune with an 8-inch telescope easily, maybe even 6-inch with Neptune. Meteor showers. Like last month, no major meteor showers occur in March. However, observers may see a few meteors on moonless nights after mid-month. Once again, you may be able to see the zodiacal light around the time of the new moon. Look for this eerie glow soon after sunset to the west, extending from the horizon along the ecliptic up through the constellations of Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. So we were talking a little bit about that last month, and we're still got the zodiacal light to look forward to this month as well. Comets. We have Comet C 2024 E1 Wirchhoff's dims to 8th magnitude as it continues to climb into the northern hemisphere, visible through binoculars under dark sky conditions. Comet Wirchhoff is passing from the constellation of Eridanus into Taurus by the end of the month. So yeah, binoculars and telescopes you'll definitely need to spot that one, but it is getting higher in the sky, making it a little easier to spot, especially as we get closer to the new moon with dark skies. Eclipses. We did have a total lunar eclipse occurred this morning, visible across North America, the Pacific, and Australia. Check out the web. There's some interesting shots and videos of last night's eclipse for sure, especially from some Australian observers as well, so take a look for that. The eclipse began last night at 1:44 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Maximum was around 4:33, and it ended about 7:23 a.m. this morning. And that is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Had a couple other check-ins. We had Jerry W0JJG and Scott over on YouTube. KB9JNA, thanks for checking in tonight. That's a new call on the list, so welcome there, Scott. I don't know if you can, if you've got Echolink or Allstar, check out skyhublink.com. I'll post that in there. Oops, change that slash to a dot. Skyhublink.com, sorry about that, over there. For where we can be found. I definitely love to talk to everybody. But Scott, if you're unable to check in tonight, if you could post over on YouTube your interest, background in astronomy, whether you're starting out or you've been doing it for decades or somewhere in between. I always like to touch my base with my new check-ins there, so thanks for that. Again, the name here is Bernice. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. And Abraham, we got you checked in too, WX0ABE. I'll go ahead and pause for anyone else wishing to check into tonight's net. Please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Mike 6, Victor Alpha Yankee. Kilo Mike 6, Victor Alpha Yankee. In Colorado Springs, Cyber. Quebec Victor. November 8th, India, Quebec Victor. N8IQD, Dave, Chicago.
All right, Stephen, we got you on the list. KM6VAY, thanks for checking in tonight. And Dave, N8IQV, that's a new call on the list, so thanks for that. Again, the name here is Bernice. That's Bravo, Uniform, Romeo, November, Echo, Sierra, Sierra, call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. I'd like to touch base with my first-time check-ins, find out what your interest background in astronomy. Whether you're just starting out, you've been doing it for decades, or somewhere in between what your interest might be. Go ahead, Dave. Please share with us. Go ahead.
So, Bert, I wish I could say I was a guru, but unfortunately I'm not. My equipment consists of a pair of binoculars, and my interest consists of basically, I enjoy love listening to the astronomy net. We do have one here in Chicago as well every week. But mostly the Northern Lights, stuff like that. I haven't got into the planetary and stars and stuff yet. But I'll work my way up there. Carry on. N8IQV.
No worries, Dave. Yeah, we got all levels here. Those that are just starting out, getting into the hobby, and those that have been doing it for decades. Those who were doing it even more decades before I even started it. And just getting back into it as well. We did have. Oh, let's see, who was it? Yeah, we had. Yeah, I think. KF0VXO got interested in astronomy through the net and even bought himself a telescope to share with the kids for Christmas. So there you go. So I don't know whether I'm a good influence or a bad influence as far as that's concerned. But again, welcome to the net. All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Echo link node is, what is it? 985839. That's W0SKY-L. 985839 for YouTube. There we go. So thanks for that, Ethan. Let's see. And Ethan, if you've got a call sign, that might be a new one on the list. If you could post that as well, I'd appreciate it.
Furnace, this is KF0BTH. We see you talking on the YouTube channel, but nothing's coming through on actual net.
Okay, so you're not copying me over the radio? Is that what I'm hearing?
Station just reporting an outage. Can you come back with that again? This is KE0VH. IQ. No audio at all. It just sounds like just digital noise. All right, sir. Well, I need you to be a little more specific than that. No audio at all. Where? What repeater? What system? Analog, digital? What's the case? I'm on All Star. And there's no audio at all. It's just all digital noise. And then IQ. W6RDBZ, this is on Echo Link, same condition, no audio. Okay, well, if you guys are hearing me, that means the system's working. Not sure what may have happened to Burnus then, because I'm on a digital repeater here. I did hear that it went kind of quiet, but you guys are both on analog and or Echo Link and are hearing me, so the system's working. Not sure what happened to Burnus then. We'll have to stand by a minute. This is KE0VH.
KE0VH, KE0VH, this is KI0AR, KI0AR calling for a radio check.
Hey, Burnus, if that was you keying up, I saw your call. Audio, no problem. Here on Echo Link.
KE0VH, KE0VH, this is KI0AR, KI0AR calling for a radio check.
Yeah, we're hearing you on Okay, yeah, everybody on radio standby. Everybody on radio standby. I'll see if I can message Furnace here. K0VH.
KE0VH, KE0VH. This is KI0AR, KI0AR calling.
I got you now. There you are. I was seeing your call sign come up, but I was hearing nothing from you.
That would be because I was checking my connections and somehow my audio connection on the headphones popped out. It was loose. I guess it was loose in there, and I'm moving around a little bit, and it jiggled. So apologies, everybody. So thanks for that. Yeah. And thanks for those. YouTube came in. Saved the day. They were hearing our convos over YouTube. So I heard the audio. Of course, that's coming through the radio. But obviously my jack came loose, and so I plugged it back in. So there you go. Mechanical failure or user error, however you want to call it.
Okay, buddy, you're good and solid now. Good and solid now. Go ahead and continue onward. KE0VH.
There you go, Jack. Yeah, first rule of troubleshooting. Is it plugged in? There you go. It wasn't. So there you go. Appreciate everybody working that out. I had to figure out what was going on. Apologies. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Hopefully everybody can hear me. All right, we'll get into the first. Wow, we're running a little late tonight. So let's see what I usually do. ISS passes. For those of you who are interested in ISS passes, you may want to check out this website, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. And log in and put in your home coordinates so you can get accurate dates and timings for ISS passes over your particular area. Right now, most of the passes over the Denver area are, well, it looks like we're transitioning from the morning to the evening passes, so that's good. We don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning like this particular one that I have displayed over on YouTube. The one reason I like about this particular website is I can pull up a particular pass and see that this particular pass is nearly directly overhead. You can see the constellations that it's passing through right just below the Big Dipper, right above the center of the sky. Yeah, these aren't some of the Corona Borealis. That's an interesting one, but you got to be under dark skies to see that one. So, Ophiuchus, Cassiopeia as well. So, that particular pass was at 5 a.m. Let's see, tomorrow morning at 5:02 a.m. the ISS travels from the northwest to the southeast, so that was a good pass. You may want to check out March 9th. Is that right? No, March 11th. There we go. March 11th pass is an evening pass, so starting at 8:25 p.m. and passing through Eridanus, right through Taurus, right through the Hyades and Taurus, and right through Auriga as well, and then right through the middle of Ursa Major is where it disappears. Yeah, and that pass started at 8:27 p.m. on the 11th and finishes at 8:31 So 4.5 minute pass. It disappears into the Earth's shadow. It's always interesting to watch the ISS pass into the Earth's shadow when it does that higher up as opposed to just disappearing over the horizon. Again, that website is www.heavens-above.com. And what I like also is I can print out. Now I'm not even getting. I'm not getting. Oh, everything seems to be going wrong tonight. I'm not getting any video, so I do appreciate that. I was going to show that. So technical difficulties this evening. Okay, another technical difficulty. I wasn't getting any video. The one thing I like about the site is I can print out a nice 8.5 by 11 star chart to see the pass of the ISS over the local area. And you can make notes on it. If you drop it, you're not going to break it like a small cell phone or something like that. You know, and the batteries won't die on that piece of paper either. Again, that website, www.heavens-above.com. That's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'm getting all kinds of problems going on tonight. I did put up, let's see, I did put up some bulletins for this evening, and where is it? There it is. There it is. Just a second. I lost the connect. There we go. Don't you just love computers, I tell you. This bulletin is from Earth Sky. We've been talking about auroras for a while, but this is actually dated today. It's aurora season. Why more auroras around equinoxes? We're just coming up on the spring equinox. That will be occurring shortly on the 20th, the vernal equinox. So when is aurora season? Yes, there is an aurora season which comes around the fall and spring equinox each year. This pattern in nature, auroras increasing twice a year, is one of the earliest patterns ever to be observed and recorded by scientists. We know that storms and eruptions on the sun cause disturbances in Earth's magnetic field called geomagnetic storms. And we know the sun itself has cycles, including the famous 11-year solar cycle. In fact, that cycle is quite active right now. That is why we're having more solar activity now than a few years ago. But an 11-year cycle is not a twice-yearly cycle. Why would geomagnetic storms increase twice a year? As it turns out, it's all about magnetism and geometry. Aurora season, early studies, and it's something nature watchers have studied for a long time. Aloysius Corti, an English Jesuit astronomer who conducted sun studies around the turn of the last century, published the first notable journal paper on the link between equinoxes and auroras in the year 1912. Then in 1940, the mathematician Sidney Chapman and his German colleague Julius Bartels included another discussion of the twice-yearly aurora season in their classic book, Geomagnetism. This book became the standard textbook on Earth's magnetism for several decades. Later, solar physicist David Hathaway of NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama, created an updated plot showing the same seasonal pattern. Hathaway's plot is below, and I'll show that just a sec. All right, where was I? The Russell shown on the YouTube screen is the average number of geomagnetically disturbed days between 1932 and 2002. So there you go. Interesting little graph. The Russell McPherson effect. Over the years, scientists put forth several models to explain the twice-a-year variation in geomagnetic storms. An enduring explanation comes from Christopher Russell and Robert McPherson, both of UCLA. Their 1973 paper on the subject was titled Semi-Annual Variation of Geomagnetic Activity. Although their model explaining the seasonal variations in aurora frequency didn't explain everything perfectly, it did show a physical connection between the geometry of Earth's magnetic field and the magnetic field carried to Earth from the sun by the solar wind. And that is why, since the 1973 paper, the term Russell-McPherson effect has been used for seasonal auroras. So what's the connection? The BZ component. You know how the magnet always comes with two poles, a north pole and a south pole. Solar magnetic fields carried to Earth via the solar wind also have a north and south pole. Russell and McPherson showed that the north-south component of the sun's magnetic field, called the BZ component by solar physicists, goes up and down over the year in a way corresponding to the wobbling of Earth's axis. This showed these fluctuations are largest during the equinoxes. Geomagnetic storms, and therefore auroras, happen most often when the north-south component of the solar wind is more or less opposite the north-south component of Earth's own magnetic field. It happens because just as when two bar magnets oriented oppositely attract one another, so opposite BZ components attract. They open up a hole in Earth's magnetic field, which allows the solar wind to flow more easily toward Earth's magnetic poles. When this happens, presto, we have auroras. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net, continuing. The equinoctial effect. There is another factor that comes into place that also increases aurora activity during equinoxes. It's called the equinoctial effect. Equinoctial just means happening at or near the time of an equinox. And we're, like I said earlier, we're approaching that. That's when the pole, as in the image shown on YouTube, is where the Earth is up and down to relative to the sun being up and down, and rather than being at an angle. Here's how it works. During equinoxes, Earth's magnetic poles, north and south, are at right angles to the flowing solar wind 2 times a day. During these times, the solar wind is effectively stronger, enhancing magnetic storms. As the seasons change, the poles either point more toward or away from the sun, reducing this effect. And here's another image. See what we mean and the geometry of objects and space. So here's another diagram on the YouTube site. Magnetism and geometry in aurora season. So there is a reason why auroras are more frequent around the equinoxes. Researchers have been studying the phenomenon for over 100 years and still are studying it. They might not agree on all the details, but they do agree that the cause relates to the magnetic fields of both the sun and the Earth, working in conjunction with the Sun-Earth geometry at a given time of year as Earth moves in its orbit. And let's see, what else? Here we go, a few more auroral images to share over on YouTube. That's it for that particular bulletin, but I'll show you a few auroral images. And if you're interested, last fall, we also had some auroral activity as far south as Texas, and I made a little video of some of those images we received here in Colorado and from our check-ins here on the net. And I have that little video posted over on YouTube. You can check out the videos on the Colorado Astronomy Net site and YouTube there. Just some interesting aurora. We didn't have anything this spectacular for sure over Colorado, but we did get some interesting red images for sure there. And that's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, I'm going to call on Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. Let's see. Are you ready to give the rocket report tonight? Go ahead. Go ahead, Ed.
Good evening, Bernice. Good evening to the able to give the rocket report tonight. Back to you.
All right, Ed, you're sounding good. Go ahead. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
All right, this is 76RDT with tonight's rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. We're going to be looking back to February 24th and forward to the 10th. We had 5 launches last week. 4 of them were SpaceX, Falcon 9, and 1 Rocket Lab HASTE suborbital mission. All right, first launch, SpaceX officially launched Starlink Group 17-16 from Slick 4E, Vandenberg Space Force Base. That on Friday, February 27th at 0717 Mountain Standard Time. The rocket launched in an opaque fog deep in the Vandenberg night at 25 Starlinks. Joined the mega constellation in sun-synchronous orbit with booster 1093. 11th flight and recovery. When you can sort of watch that launch, have a link in the rocket report. All right, second launch of the week SpaceX reliably launched Starlink Group 6-108 from Slick 40 Cape Canaveral on Friday, February 27th at 05:16 Mountain Standard Time. 29 Starlink Internet communication satellites went to low Earth orbit on booster B-1069's 30th flight. That's getting up there. We set a record 33 with a booster last week, so that's a lot of launches. Third launch postponed again, this time from Wednesday. Rocket Lab impeccably launched That's Not a Knife mission on an Electron HASTE rocket departing LC Flight Facility in Virginia on Friday, February 27th at 1700. The trajectory was suborbital. The mission was part of Rocket Lab's HASTE program. The payload was a 300-kilogram military DART AE single-use hypervelocity scramjet technology demonstrator, a 3-meter-long hydrogen-fueled scramjet. It was the first HASTE launch of 2026 and the 7th HASTE mission overall, and the 78th successful Electron mission. We're going to reset the repeater there. All right, W6RDC back with Astronomy Net's rocket report. Hopefully I didn't time out there. All right, fourth launch of the week, Sunday, March 1st at 3:10 Mountain Standard Time. SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 17-23 on a Falcon 9 from Slick 40 Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. It was a beautiful, clear night launch from Vandenberg. 25 Starlink satellites joined the constellation in sun-synchronous orbit. It was booster 1082's 20th flight and the 605th Falcon 9 successful mission. Later Sunday, that same Sunday, March 1st, at 1956 Mountain Standard Time, SpaceX swimmingly launched Starlink Group 1041 from Slick 40 Cape Canaveral. All right, that brings us to upcoming launches. It looks a lot like last week for SpaceX, and this time one Space One launch. Well, that one didn't come off, but I'm going to reset the repeater here. All right, W6RDZ, back with the rocket report. First launch of the week should have happened right about the start of our Astronomy Net today at March 3rd at 1900 Mountain Standard Time. That was supposed to launch Japan's private Space One. They were going to try again to launch the third flight of their Kairos 4 small satellite launch vehicle. That one has scrubbed repeatedly over the last few weeks and scrubbed again tonight. So I don't have an update for the time, and I don't know why it scrubbed. The weather was just beautiful, so that wasn't it. All right. Anyway, yeah, the first two flights of the Kairos both failed for different reasons. The first launch failed spectacularly 5 seconds into the flight when the autonomous flight termination system detonated. The second launch was terminated when the first stage began tumbling well into the burn there, somewhere around 50 seconds. All right, on the docket, launch docket for later tonight is SpaceX Starlink Group 10-4 departing Slick 40 Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 22:58. We'll just call that midnight, and we'll reset the repeater. All right, W6RDZ back with the rocket report. We're looking for about 3 more launches here. First one, after tonight's launches, that will be going up Wednesday, March 4th at 1400 Mountain Standard Time. That'll be a Starlink Group 1018 launching from Vandenberg on Wednesday. Fourth launch, SpaceX doesn't launch again until Sunday, March 8th at 4:58 Mountain Standard Time. That's when Starlink Group 17-31 departs Vandenberg, Space Force Base, California. And our last launch of the week as it's scheduled now, closing the week, SpaceX plans to launch another Falcon 9, not Starlink mission, the EchoStar 25 mission scheduled to leave Split 40, Cape Canaveral Space Force Base in Florida at 21:14 Mountain Standard Time, Monday, March 9th. EchoStar 25 is a 6,800 kilogram direct broadcast satellite that will deliver content for Dish TV across North America. It is built by Lanteris Space on the proven Maxar 1300 series platform at the company's facility in Palo Alto and San Jose, California. EchoStar 25 will be equipped with a high-power multi-spot beam transmitter in geostationary orbit. And we're going to reset the repeater and get to the news. That's what's exciting. Okay, W6RDZ back with tonight's rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Oops. Hang on. There we go. All right, let's see. Space news. Okay, first we're going to talk about Artemis 1. That has been rolled back to the SLS was rolled back to the vehicle assembly building. That move is complete. And that is delaying launch to April 1st at the earliest, possibly slipping to May, but I just have an update that says April's probably quite probable now. All right. The rollback to the VAB was necessitated by a helium ICCS upper stage flow issue. The helium system pressurized, purged, and drained just fine during the second dress rehearsal. On Thursday, February 19th, the new issue was discovered the next evening, Friday before last, during routine ground operations. The helium blockage has been isolated, either the seal on the quick disconnect or a check valve at the other end of the line. Additionally, new batteries will be installed to the SLS upper stage core boosters, solid rocket boosters, as well as a retest of the rocket's flight termination system. I'm going to reset the repeater there and then get you the latest news here. Okay, W6RDZ back with the rocket report. This one just hit the internet here at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Brooke Edwards of Florida Today scooped this. And I'll just read her report here, the first couple paragraphs. After a helium flow issue temporarily grounded Artemis 2 SLS rocket, NASA announced they found the root cause of the problem that delayed the return to the moon mission, a dislodged seal that led to an obstruction. Repairs are underway inside the vehicle assembly building, and a massive orange and white moon rocket is expected to roll back to the Kennedy Launch Center later this month. The long-awaited Artemis 2 mission will send astronauts to the moon for the first time in more than 50 years, is set for no earlier than April 1st. The helium problem was discovered after a successful wet dress rehearsal. There we go. We covered that all right. Engineers determined that the seal in the quick disconnect through the helium flows from the ground system to the rocket was obstructing the pathway. A March 3rd NASA blog post said the team removed the quick disconnect, reassembled the system, and began validating repairs to the upper stage by running a reduced flow rate of helium through the mechanism to ensure issue was resolved. Engineers were assessing what allowed the seal to become dislodged and to prevent the issue from reoccurring. So the latest on Artemis 2 will reset the repeater there. All right, W6RDZ, back with the rocket report. Second big news item is that NASA's Jared Isaacman announces a redesign of the future of the Artemis program. Let's see there. On Friday, as crew works to fix the Artemis 2, Isaacman announced major changes to the Artemis program. Artemis 3 will not be landing on the moon, but rather will be in a low Earth orbit mission to test docking and landers. Now it looks like Artemis 4 will be the first lunar landing, and that will happen in 2028. There may be uncrewed landing tests before that. NASA canceled plans to build the exploration upper stage and the Artemis Block 1B upgrade of the SLS rocket. And thanks to Dave for confirming today that it will stop construction on the new pad required for that rocket. And that could save a lot of money. Big objective now on Artemis is to increase the SLS launch cadence. Jared wants to launch every 10 months, not every 3.5 years. This is a return to an Apollo style of development, more frequent and smaller steps. All right, got links to check out if you're interested in that. I'm going to reset the repeater. W6RDZ, back with the rocket report. All right, Starship. Let's see what SpaceX is doing. They've conducted a successful full deluge test of Pad 2, Ship 39, rolled out of Mega Bay 2 and arrived at Massey's for cryo-proof pressure load and static test fires pending. We don't have a March launch date yet for Flight 12. I've seen some unconfirmed rumors of an FAA filing for an April 9th launch. We'll let you know, though, more when we have something concrete. All right. Let's see. Big news item this week. SpaceX and the ISS Crew 11 medical update. Astronaut Mike Fink, Crew 11 pilot and commander of the ISS's Exploration 74, he has revealed that it was his medical issue that prompted the evacuation from the space station in January. No details on the nature of Mike's medical issue, but he's doing fine. And in the interest of time, I won't read his statement, but just to know, he thanks everybody who took good care of him. They're both on the ISS and on the ground. All right, in the interest of time, I'll move on to item 6. I'm going to reset the repeater. All right, this item 6, I've got two item 6s. Didn't number sequentially there. Rocket Lab delays Neutron again. Rocket Lab has delayed the debut launch of the Neutron medium lift rocket to quarter 4 of 2026. This following a stage 1 tank structural failure during testing in January. Third-party manufacturing defect caused the tank to rupture, forcing the redesign of the affected structural component, though the overall primary design remains sound. All right, that's unfortunate. All right, number 6. This one is for you, Burness, our resident aerospace software test engineer. A year ago, on February 27, 2025, NASA, as part of a commercial lunar exploration program, launched a pair of lunar probes to the moon. intuitive machines, a lander, a lunar lander, that was launched to the moon along with Lockheed Martin's Lunar Trailblazer probe, both atop the same Falcon 9. The intuitive machines, the lander, made it to the moon, survived a rough landing, tipped over on its side, and couldn't do much science. The Lunar Trailblazer probe, intended to remain in lunar orbit and map and study water on the moon, did not fare as well. The Lunar Trailblazer orbiter mysteriously went dead within a day of launch and never recovered. We're going to reset the repeater. All right, W6RGZ, back with the rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, so we're talking about the Lunar Trailblazer probe. The mystery became evident this week when NPR used a Freedom of Information request to obtain the anomaly review report, revealing why the $72 million mission was lost. The reason was a software bug that kept the solar panels from pointing away from the sun instead of toward it. A coordinate reference error kept the panels pointing 180 degrees away from the sun, and the probe's batteries promptly died. In addition, the review panel found, quote, many erroneous onboard fault management actions, end quote, that taken together with the solar panel pointing error caused the Lunar Trailblazer failure. Lockheed Martin failed to test the pointing software prior to launch. All right. That's it for tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net rocket report. W6RGZ, Rocketman Ed, wishes you good night and nominal flight. Now back to Starman Burnett, KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
All right, Ed. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yep. Having tested Mars Global Surveyor way back when for Lockheed Martin, so and the Titan rockets and things like that. So yeah, better, faster, cheaper. They always forget smarter. Unfortunately. All right, Ed. Appreciate you doing that for us. Appreciate yeah, all that you do for the Rocket Report there, and I have posted the links to the Rocket Report in the NetLogger and over on YouTube as well. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll quickly pause here to see if there are. I don't see any more check-ins over on YouTube or on NetLogger. So anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
November Tango 9 Alpha. November Tango 9 Alpha. Patrick in Madison, Wisconsin. Evening, Bertus.
Okay, good evening to you, Patrick, NT9A. Thanks for checking in tonight. Okay, now is the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net astronomical-wise, now's the time to do it. I definitely like to hear from observation reports from any of you guys that stayed up, or got up very, very early to take a look at the eclipse last night, for sure. I'd love to hear that. First on the list tonight is Jack, KE0VH. Good evening to you, Jack. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, Marcus, good evening to everybody around the net. Thanks for being part of Sky Uplink and for joining us here on the net on Tuesday nights. Much appreciate everybody's participation and everything. Marcus, I just flew over Denali in Alaska in the simulator. It was quite spectacular, and I did not get to do a live stream last night because too much of a head cold going on, and I had some problems with the software in the sim that I have since corrected, but we needed to get that straightened out before it would fly. So I'm actually kind of sort of doing a test flight tonight. But we'll be back tomorrow night. We're going to fly back from Anchorage up to Barrow, Alaska, way up there, way north of the Arctic Circle and everything. So should be a spectacular trip. We'll get a view of Denali once again in the simulator tomorrow night. I'll be starting at 6:30 on my YouTube channel and talking about the Colorado Astronomy Net and all of that kind of good stuff too. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for participating and for being part of the net and supporting us here on Sky Uplink. So, Marcus, with that, back to you. Have a good night. 7:30. I did not get to see the eclipse last night either because I was doing an extremely careful examination of the back of my eyelids for pinholes. So there you go. Have a good night, Marcus. 7:30 to everybody. This is KE0VH in Wheat Ridge. Good evening.
All right, Jack. Yeah, I peeked out the window last night. I didn't get out and get dressed and go outside to, to see that. But it was clear. It was very clear last night to see the eclipse, which I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was clear. Too many times, sometimes it's been overcast or what have you. But I have seen plenty of lunar eclipses and have pictures to prove some of them over the decades as well, probably even from my youth. Some of the eclipses I saw when I was young. It was interesting for sure. It kind of got me, got the astronomy bug sparked in me when I was in the single digits. But yeah, Jack, yeah, and for anybody, yeah, Denali, that'd be neat. So Mike up in Alaska, yeah, if you've ever flown over Denali or want to simulate flying over Denali, yeah, check out Jack's Captain Jack Flight Sim tomorrow night. We'll see. Jack, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Moy down in Texas. N5ZIQ. Good evening to you, Moy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Oh, I guess I should check out my NetLogger AIM window. He said he checked out early. We always appreciate him checking out, or checking in anyway, being part of the net. Next on the list is Ken in Nevada, NV7SS. Good evening to you, Ken. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening there, Ernest. NV7SS here in Indian Springs, Nevada, where it's been too cloudy to see anything in the evening, so haven't been able to see much. I do see the moon poking through the clouds a little bit once in a while, but that's about it. So anyway, Ernest, thanks for being there and doing such a great job. I'll always enjoy you every week there. So take care until next time, Ernest. 7-3s, NV7SS. Back to you, Ernest.
All right, Ken. Yeah, there's no observing here tonight in Denver. We got rain, thankfully. We finally got a little bit of rain. We could use about 3 or 4 feet of snow right now, as far as moisture is concerned. But a little bit is better than none for sure. All right, Ken. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Dave up in Evergreen, AF0AS. Good evening to Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
that had in the rocket report. Roscosmos posted a update on X, I believe, today. The Bacanor service platform underneath the Soyuz rocket launched its belly to the plane trench a couple of months ago. A majority of the reinstallation of the replacement has occurred, and they are moving forward. They have not given a date for a potential first test launch or actual launch of a manned craft from there, but they are making much faster progress than people were expecting. Other than that, just keeping eyes on Starbase and KFC for what's happening with Starship. So that's back to that. AS really is clear.
All right, Dave, appreciate your updates. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Let's see, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is, let's see, Robert in Indiana checked in and out, W7CTY, so thanks for that. Next on the list is Alan in Missouri, W0GL. Good evening to you, Alan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Graham in Scotland over on YouTube, MM1DEA. Don't know if he's still with us, but Graham, if you're over on YouTube and got any questions, you can post over there. So do appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Randy in Broomfield, KF0VTH. Good evening to you, Randy. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Hey, I appreciate you, Vernon. This is my first net, and I've enjoyed listening to you guys. I particularly enjoyed the rocket report, but I don't have much to add to the conversation at this point. My telescope has been gathering a little dust this winter, but hopefully get that out here soon now that things are approaching springtime and maybe catch some of the aurora that you reported on that is more prevalent during the equinoxes. But yeah, that's about all I have for you, Vernon. Appreciate you having me, and I'm back to that. This is KF0VTH.
All right, Randy, thanks for that. Thanks for joining us tonight. For sure, yeah, dust off that telescope or just listen to the net. That's fine. I do have some older, if you want to listen to some of the bulletin parts, we talked about radio astronomy, a telescope possibly being built on the backside of the moon. On the far side of the moon. Last week was an interesting article from the IEEE Spectrum magazine. It was kind of long. It was almost a half an hour, unfortunately. But it was an interesting article. But there's some other stuff that you may want to catch up on. And I also think that's a new call, or at least relatively new. So welcome to the handbands as well there, Randy. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Look forward to hearing from you in the future. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Mark out in Crook, KF0VXO. Good evening to you, Mark. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Chad at Highlands Ranch, KF0UUC. Good evening to you, Chad. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
KF0UUC. Oh, just listening to the net. Appreciate it. No traffic tonight.
All right, Chad. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Yeah, well, I'm at Highlands Ranch too, so we will have to do an eyeball QSO sometime. But appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Randall up in Washington, AE7RJ. Good evening to you, Randall. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Ben out in Utah, KM7DZH. Good evening to you, Ben. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Mike up in Alaska, KL7FR. Good evening to you, Mike. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
KR0AR in the Colorado Astronomy Net. Here is KL7 frozen in Willow, Alaska, where it's a balmy, I don't know, 5 or 6 above zero. Woo! I love above zero temperatures. Fahrenheit. Anyway, thanks for taking my check-in, and I don't want to apologize because I don't know what happened before the net. I'll try to think of an appropriate, colorful metaphor to describe my night viewing, but I think that's kind of a gray area. I'm actually ashamed to admit I've had so many clear nights this winter because it's been a cold, clear winter. When we get cold weather, we get clear skies. I've gone out trying to do some aurora gazing, but when I intentionally go out and look, I don't see nothing. I see a few meteors. I did see a nice fireball about 2 months ago. Early January, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. My dog was trying to go outside, so I put both the dogs out and happened to see a fireball coming down. That was a good one. I've seen a few of those over the years. I've seen thousands of meteors, but a fireball is different, and that's cool. But I love going out and looking for the northern lights. The best light show I had this year was on New Year's Eve. There's a pretty good ribbon of lights going across the sky. I've gone out and looked a few times and seen traces of northern lights, but actually kind of disappointed. I'll keep trying, but part of the problem is we've had really clear, nice night skies, but it's 20 or 30 below zero, and I don't want to stand outside in 25 below zero waiting for the lights to appear, whether they might or not. You know what's on my bucket list? I need to build a heated observatory on top of a tower, make the ultimate ham shack observatory. A tower with an observatory, and it has to be heated for sure. But that's what I'm looking for. Anyway, love hearing the astronomy Oh man, I want to hear more about rockets. I think that could be a topic because blows my mind how many rockets SpaceX is putting up every week, and it's just amazing the amount of your transmit time.
Yeah, Mike, I think the machine got you. It cut you off a little bit, so we missed your sign off there. But caught most of the stuff you were talking about for sure. Check out spaceweather.com. Spaceweather.com. That should give you a fairly good idea if you want to check out auroras. They do have a paid subscription to an aurora alert. It is a bit pricey, but who knows? You're in much more advantageous spot to see auroral activity than I am for sure. Very rare when it gets down to Denver, but very unique when it gets down this far. But yeah, just I'd love to get up north and see that kind of activity. Fireballs. If you do see fireballs, I do post uh, your guys' fireball observation reports. If you can remember all the details, the American Meteor Society's webpage, American Meteor Society, has sightings for fireballs and bolides, things like that. And you can post the information if you remember all of the. You can see what they post. They want where it came from and how long it was and how high it up what it was and what direction it was from and what your location was so that they can coordinate. You may want to check out that website around the period of time that you may have seen that fireball or other fireballs, and check that out and add your listing to that site. If you do, let me know and I'll post it on my website. The American Meteor Society, I'll go ahead and post that link in NetLogger and over on YouTube as well. That goes for everybody on YouTube, so if you happen to see one of those fireballs, I'll post it on my newsletter for sure.
Check KL7FR.
Yeah, Mike, you're still there. Go ahead if they've got anything else.
All right, thanks, Bernard. I do use spaceweather.com to look at the current auroral oval. It's pretty cool, but even when the auroral activity is heavy on that auroral oval, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to see the lights. And it seems like most of our activity happens at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning, and I'm usually looking at the inside of my eyelids, not the night sky at that time. I do have a neighbor up the road that's an avid photographer and different forms of photography, but she's really into aurora photography, and she gets some great shots, but she has to stay up to the wee hours. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't know that they have an auroral alert. I'm going to look into that, and I think that would be a great topic for the net.
auroral activity and how do you track it, and also fireballs and more on rockets. You know what I wanted to ask Ed about rockets is with all of these Starlink satellites going into orbit, they must have to deorbit them sometimes. I guess they burn them up coming into the atmosphere, but I'm curious about that with all the thousands of Starlink satellites. I'm on Starlink. I'm a fan. Go Elon Musk. But I'm wondering how often and how many of those do they have to deorbit, things like that. I think those are some great topics for future nuts. But anyway, it's always a good time here on the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm spaced out all the time anyway, but you guys get me even, so spaced out. KL7 Frozen Radio, back in their control.
All right, Mike, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Roy up in Oregon, KI7PKL. Good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Bruce, and everybody on the net. And interested here in Frozen Radio talking about cold, clear nights. Yes. How about sort of warmest, cloudy nights? That's what we got here. By the way, Frozen Radio was some guy that told me about this in the first place, however long ago that was. Anyway, not much going on here, just doing everything but astronomy for some pretty obvious reasons. But our day's coming again. Hey, I'm thankful for when I bought new cameras and I had a week of clear weather. That kind of broke the rules right there. So we're paying for it now. Back to you, Bruce, and thanks for doing that. Catch up. Be careful.
All right, Roy. Yeah, good, cold, clear nights. Very conducive to astrophotography for sure, but not necessarily staying warm. But yeah, hopefully you'll get some good shots there, Roy, with your new cameras and stuff. Well, I look forward to seeing what you're going to get in the future with that. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is John. He's over on YouTube. KJ7AGQ. Don't know if you're. Let's see who asked for that. If you're on Echolink or if you're over there on YouTube, still listening in, definitely like to hear any questions, comments you might want to share with us over there. But I definitely appreciate you checking in. Next on the list is Ron up in Vermont, W2RON. Good evening to you, Ron. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Yes, W2RON, Ron in Vermont. Don't have anything else. We've been listening and the net. The rocket stuff, I'm not too interested in that. Seems like there's an awful lot of rockets going up. I don't know what they're doing. Half of them get scrubbed because of some reason or other. But we want to continue to listen to the net. And maybe we've heard everything you talked about the planets and the magnitude, et cetera. Anyway, we really don't have anything else, but maybe you can tell me when you get back how many nights a week is this on and the times. We just happened to come across it. We were on here earlier today, and we'd listen again this evening, and lo and behold, the Astronomy Net, which we have great interest in over the years, but lately we haven't, involved ourselves with it very much. But we like to hear about it, and maybe there is still time for us to get out there and observe. Anyway, thank you very, very much for taking us our check-in, and if you'll just give me the times that we can listen, I'll be listening to that. Thank you very much. And this is Whiskey 2 Romeo Oscar November, Ron in Milton, Vermont. Back to that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
All right, Ron, thanks for that. Yeah, we meet 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday nights on the SkyHub Link system. So check out skyhublink.com for all the ways, Echolink and All-Star Node. Yeah, sometimes they're just fun. When people hop onto Echolink, they're just scanning through for the nets or get on NetLogger or something like that and see a net and check it out. So definitely appreciate that. So that's 7 p.m. Mountain Time on Tuesday evenings is when so that's 7 p.m. whether it's Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time. So I'll be starting at 7 p.m. Next Tuesday. So check out skyhublink.com, and hopefully we'll hear from you next Tuesday night. And I know it's a little bit late there, so I do appreciate you staying up late with us tonight there, Ron. And again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Appreciate your comments and appreciate you checking in tonight. Now, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Ed in Broomfield. Good evening to you, Ed. W6RDZ. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening again. Not too much for you. Let's see, two things come to mind. One, I tried looking at that eclipse last night. I went to bed about 1 and looked out and I saw a good full moon. When I came back and looked at about 4, I think it was, there was no moon. So I might have had a band of clouds in here, or it might have set. I don't know. Probably not if you were seeing the eclipse. It hadn't set yet, so that was got me scratching my head. Okay, anyway, that's about all I have. I did want to get back to Frozen Radio. They're always so good to hear him come in there. But yes, you're exactly right. We're probably over 10,000 Starlinks up there in active, and yeah, they have deorbited thousands of them, at least 2,000, I think. You can Google the exact numbers, but yeah, they're bringing Starlinks down all the time, and it's actually the rate that they're coming down is faster right now. So they're definitely scrubbing the old satellites out of the constellation. So that's an ongoing thing. That's all I have, W6RDZ. Back to you, but thanks very much for running the net. It's good to be a part of it. Take care. W6RDZ73.
All right, Ed, thanks for that update. Yeah, they since those are all in low Earth orbit, they stay up there for, I'd have to look to see how long they stay for several months or so, and then they deorbit them over the Pacific somewhere. So there's probably a space junk satellite pile south in the middle of the Pacific, in the middle of nowhere. Out there for sure. Actually, they burn up. I think they're designed to burn up so you don't have too much debris. But it's usually over the Pacific area, just in case something doesn't burn up completely. The junk will fall into the sea. But yeah, they're always sending them up, and they're trying to like I said, Ed, they're deorbiting the old ones. So as they improve the technology. All right, Ed, thanks for adding that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate the Rucker Report as always. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Yeah, one comment for Ron. Yeah, we started the Rocket Report several years ago, and we see it covers some of the astronomy, but we do have some astronomical satellites that get launched that we talk about as well. So, and other past missions and things like that. So it's all space related, and of course we're sending our radio signals through space as well. So that counts. All right, Ed, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Jerry in Centennial. W0JJG. Good evening to Jerry. What have you, JJ, excuse me. What you got for the net tonight, JJ? Go ahead. All right, next on the list is Scott. Oh, checked in over on YouTube, KB9JNA, but you were asking about the Echo link, do believe. So we'll give you a call, KB9JNA. Good evening to you, Scott. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. All right, running a little bit long tonight, but I do appreciate everybody staying around. Next on the list is Abraham in Sterling, WX0ABE. Good evening to you, Abraham. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Stephen up in Fort Collins, KM6VAY. Good evening to you, Stephen. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Evening, everybody. Nothing to add to the net. Thanks for doing the net, Burns. We'll talk to you next week. Back net.
All right, Stephen, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is David. I think you said you were up in Chicago tonight. N8IQV. Good evening to you, Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Again, welcome to the net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Oh, let's see, Dave. Let's see, no, John over on YouTube commented. It said, got up at 3 a.m. To see an overcast sky. Couldn't see the lunar eclipse this time, but I got a nice photo of the lunar eclipse a year ago. Photo on your QRZ page. So thanks for that, John. I definitely will check that out. And by the way, for those of you who do take astro photos, I do like to showcase those photos in my newsletter and on the webpage. So if you have an image that you'd like to share, I'll obviously give you credits for it. But if you'd like to share it on the newsletter or and yeah, on the newsletter or the webpage, send it to me. I'd be glad to show it off for you for sure. Let's see. Next on the list is Ethan over on YouTube, KF0VOX. Good evening to you, Ethan. If you've got any comments you want to post over on YouTube, go ahead. I do appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Patrick, NT9A. Good evening to you, Patrick, up in Wisconsin. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Hello, Berners. Evening to you, and good evening to the net. I find the Artemis stuff pretty interesting. Following along with that is going to be quite the spectacle. I don't know how I feel about devoting resources to certain space projects when there's a lot to devote resources to here on Earth. But you know, we haven't been to the moon for a long time, and it's going to produce a lot of cool technology and a lot of good science research and photos and all that, so I'm looking forward to all that. And then also I was very interested in your description of how auroras work. I'm learning about electricity and magnetism on a base level right now, and that ties into what I'm learning about the tie between magnetism and electricity and their fields. And yeah, that seems very interesting there, how auroras actually work. You were, and I only partially understood it. I'll have to look it up in my own spare time to get the fine details. But can you describe what particles are actually illuminated that you can see in those colorful sheets up in the air? What is that that's actually lit up when that's happening? Back to you, NT9.
Good question, Patrick. I'm going to have to look that up myself. Particles in the solar wind, obviously charged particles or ions, ionized gas from the sun, either charged negatively or and positively, all depends on how it's oriented. So obviously, well, with the sun, the hydrogen particles I would do, or ions that are streaming through the solar wind. I think that's what it's mostly composed of. I'll have to double check on that, but mostly stripped electrons and photons, more like from the atoms with the powerful magnetic fields that are involved with the sun and how that goes through. And then it hits the upper atmosphere and with the magnetic fields and gosh, how do auroras work? This was more like how they're oriented, I guess, north-south, and why we get more auroral activities during the equinoxes, because the poles line up, you know. So that you know, they're opposites, north-south, south-north, so that we get that flow. Other times of the year when our axis is tilted, we don't get quite as much. But so that was what the article was about tonight. So good questions. We'll have to look that up, and hopefully we'll see some of that auroral activity coming up this springtime.
Yeah, I sure hope that it comes back around. I would love to see some in person. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I just didn't know what particular particle it was, but you're saying likely hydrogen. Yeah, we'll both have to look it up to be certain. Very cool, and also unfortunately did not get to see any of the night. It was actually spectacularly clear a couple of nights ago and clouded over yesterday. So just in time to cover up all the fun show. So unfortunate. Back to you, NC98. Have a great night, birds.
All right, Patrick. Yeah, I was mostly right. Let's see. Here's the auroras are made of light or photons emitted when charged particles, mainly electrons and protons, from the solar wind collide with oxygen and nitrogen gas atoms in Earth's upper atmosphere. There you go. So that's what happens is light emitted from the interaction of the electrons and photons from the solar wind. Hitting the Earth's atmosphere. So, yeah, there you go. I just wasn't exactly sure what was doing that. So there we go.
K2 HSW.
Okay, I had an HSW. Let's see. I think we've had you before. If you could give me your call sign again, I'll get you checked in. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
KI0 AR Net Control. This is Victor Kilo 2, Hotel Sierra Whiskey in Sydney, Australia. Hotel Alpha Sierra, and I'm a professional astronomer. We spoke before. Over.
Okay. Okay, Haas. Yeah, we got you on the list. VK2HSW. That's right. If you've got, okay, we have. Let's see. It does not. Is that the correct call sign? I don't see it popping up on my my list of call signs. We may have spoken before, but I don't recall it. You checking into the net. So, welcome there. Go ahead. What have you got for us tonight?
Well, this is my first real contact on WiseX. I've only just got it configured today. And I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled that I can hear all these wonderful people without putting up an HF rig. I'm not in an area that I can do so. The noise floor is about a 9 out of 10 on HF, so I only use 2 meters and 70 centimeters. So it's an absolute thrill to speak to people around the world. Hello to everyone. G'day from Sydney, Australia. And I'll put it back to net control, VK2 HSW.
All right, Haas, thanks for that. You said you were an astronomer down there. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
You might share some of your experiences. I guess we got a little bit of time of the Aurora Australis down under there. We'd definitely like to hear observation reports from down under the southern skies, because we don't get to see that too much down here. Up here, I should say, up north. Welcome to the net, and you said you were professional, so that we can definitely avail ourselves of your knowledge as well. So if you'd like to share a quick history or bio, we'd love to hear it there. Go ahead.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to be show off, because I'm just a really plain, ordinary, easygoing person. I have a PhD in astrophysics. I've worked for 35 years as a professional astronomer at 3 different observatories. We do no longer have a solar telescope. because once they put up the solar telescope up in space, we get more direct solar reports from that. So we shut down that. We used to be the provider for that. The WIA, which is the Wireless Institute of Australia, for the solar reports. The Aurora Australis is very different than the Aurora Borealis that you have in the northern hemisphere, way up north. We tend to have green and blues. We tend to have red and purples. Because solar, we had a huge, absolutely gigantic eruption a couple of weeks ago, and we could actually see the Aurora Australis in dark skies as high as latitude 40, so that's exceedingly rare. So basically what I do is that my field of astronomy, although my PhD is in astrophysics, I do astrometrics. Astrometrics is where we take pictures of the sky and we link them within the computer automatically, and if it finds a new object that isn't in its database, we discover it. But the main reason we do that is to search for asteroids and comets that may hit Earth, and we also monitor for space junk. We're a member of NASA's Space Guard program, and we monitor for space junk that might hit the International Space Station, and that automatically sends a warning to the ISS so they can use the excess dioxide as carbon dioxide as jets to move the station up and down, left to right, to avoid those things. Even flecks of paint can be seen in the right light, in the right sunlight. So that's really what I do. I built remote controlled robotic internet controlled observatories and telescopes, which have weather protection systems and everything on there, and I operate it completely from home. And I would like to thank you as the taxpayers of America for providing my internet link, because I need a very fast link to talk to these systems. So I have a 1 terabit download and upload clear.
All right, Haas. So we got most of that. You were cut off. Yeah, don't. We're the skyhublink.com, skyhublink.com, skyhublink system. We've got repeaters. Most of the repeaters are in Colorado, but we got some and various other states as well: Utah, Kansas, Washington, I think, Tennessee. And we are also connected through All-Star and the Echolink systems, as well as DMR and some of the other digital modes as well, so you can check that out. We meet on, let's see, 0100 Zulu Wednesdays. That would be the best thing to do. It's 7 p.m. Mountain Time is on Tuesday evenings. You're already into Wednesday right now. So what time is it now? It is almost 4:30. So it'll be 0100 Wednesdays next week when we'll be on the air. But I do appreciate that. Yeah, most of us are amateurs or just starting out. Be great to have you give us a presentation sometime if you're willing. For sure. We'll have to talk about that. But welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net there, Haas, and great to have you. Great to have you on the net tonight, for sure.
much, and I will keep note that you are using repeaters and not to time them out. I will do that. But I'll pass it on, please pass it on to the next person. I don't want to dominate the conversation. But this is my very, very first connection with Wise X. And I had to find Colorado because you people are so beautiful in Colorado. I love Colorado. I went down there whilst I was doing my thesis, and you're beautiful people. So that's why I wanted to try and find you on WiseX. I am finding the software a bit clunky, but we've got there. And also your call signs are being displayed on my Yaesu radio on digital narrow. So and I've also got Denon speakers. So it sounds like you're sitting right next to me here in the lounge room. So I'll let you put it over to the next person there. I know you've got a lot of the group. I don't want to hog the microphone here. So back to net control. This is VK2 HSW in Sydney, Australia at 3:30 p.m. Wednesday.
All right, Haas. Actually, you were the last on the list. We started. Well, it's 9:30 p.m. Tuesday night, so we started at 7 p.m. 2.5 hours ago. So we're at the bottom of the list right now. So, and I heard you calling in and say, hey, I'll extend the net a little bit longer for you for sure. Definitely like to have the professional astronomers that have been working in the field for years. I was systems engineering, software test engineering, but astronomy has been a hobby, and but it's fascinated me since I was a kid. But different directions, but all technical. Stuff. We have all levels of expertise, and I'm sure that those that have checked in would love to hear it. Plus, I am also broadcasting on YouTube as well. So Colorado Astronomy Net is on YouTube. So your presentations, if you'd like to do them in the future, would be great. We'll have to figure out some of the topics. I'm sure we got a bunch of people that would be interested in listening to that. Plus, it'd give me a chance to rest my voice after 2.5 hours of being net control. But definitely appreciate you checking in tonight, and welcome aboard. Yeah, we got a great bunch of people from all over. But yeah, we are. Well, I started the Colorado Astronomy Net 30 years ago locally, and we branched out so that we're now globally. So, but you're the last one on the list, and I'm just going to make one more call and call it an evening. But Haas, again, welcome. Appreciate it. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Like I said, one call only. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins before I go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening, please call KI0AR now.
Net control. This is
This is Randy. Hey, I just want to check in and see, are people using GMR to participate in this astronomy net? And if so, is there a topic group associated with the astronomy net? Back to that.
Okay, just a sec, Randy. We had a little bit of a double. Let me get the check in, and I'll get right back to you. The check, and it was a Kilo Echo 2 station checking into the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go ahead.
Yes, Kilo Echo 2, Foxtrot Tango Golf. Mike in Boston tonight. I'll check in and out, and back to you for the last conversation.
All right, Mike up in Boston. I appreciate you checking it. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we're running late. So definitely late for you up there in Boston. So appreciate you checking in tonight there, Mike. Randy, go ahead again with your question.
Hey, Vernon. Yeah, this is Randy KS0VTH. I was just wondering, are folks who are out of state joining the net via DMR talk group, or what avenue is being used to get onto this net from out of state?
Oh, well, there's multiple ways listed on the skyhublink.com website. Most of them are using either Echolink or the All-Star nodes, or there are some repeaters in other states that are checking in through there. We have other repeaters linked into the system thanks to our technical staff. W0SKY or N0SKY. He's got a whole bunch of SKYs. Skylar and Jack, KE0VH, runs the show as well. If you check out the, like I said, the Skyhub Link website, and let me see where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Which tab is it under? There's, oh, those are all the repeaters. There's a repeat. Just look at the site there. And then there's a status and connections. There we go. Yeah, status connections link. It's got All-Star, DMR, WiresX, YSF reflector, P25, Echolink, IRLP, D-Star. So there you go. A whole bunch of ways that it's all linked up there, Randy.
Okay, Boris, I appreciate you pointing me there. I did find it while you were talking on the Skyhub Link website, and you're right, status, connection, and then connection. And yeah, I think it's all detailed there. Apologize for making you do the legwork on that, but I've got that dialed in. There may be an opportunity where my wife and I may be out of town, and we may, I may be trying to dial in, I guess remotely is what I'm trying to say. So most likely, right now I'm set up to be able to do DMR, and I see the talk group is 310-8847. So I'll get my HD configured so that I can participate when, if and when we're out of state.
You bet, Randy. Yeah, I'm planning on being out of state myself in May, and I have checked into my own net through Echolink, and I have the Echolink set up both on my iPad and my iPhone, so I can check in using my iPhone while I'm taking a stroll, or I'll be at the Hamvention come May for 2 of those Tuesdays. I will be traveling both of those days. I'll actually be getting back the following Tuesday, but I'll be tired. But yeah, I've checked into my own net using Echolink. I haven't run it through Echolink because the way I've got it, I've got 2 screens up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different applications up running at the same time. So and plenty of pages up there. So that doesn't look very good on an iPhone or an iPad. So there you go. All right, Randy. Appreciate the question. That's how we get linked. And appreciate that. This is KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. I'd like to thank the 26 check-ins for checking in tonight, along with, what have we got? 7 new check-ins. Hopefully we'll have from everybody next Tuesday night for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. 0100 Zulu with the time change that we're coming up with. Also like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater systems. Also like to thank the Skyhub Link group for the use of their systems and all the ways that you guys can connect to the Colorado Astronomy Net through Echolink and All-Star and DMR and repeaters and WiresX and all of that stuff. So do appreciate that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.